My name is Scott Leroy. I work in student community engagement, which is part of campus life. And one of my roles is to support Engage UNCW or the GivePulse platform on campus. In this video, I'm going to explain how to adjust your settings and explore volunteer service opportunities in GivePulse, which is also known as Engage UNCW. They're both the same thing. First thing you want to do is make sure you're logged in to the platform. So you're going to navigate to uncw.givepulse.com/login, and you should see a screen that looks something like this. If you don't see this, you may have to click on login or something to that effect, but you should see um, a button that says login via UNCW. You want to make sure you log in using this single sign-on. So you just click on this and you should get logged in. If you don't see this blue button, you can also click on this single sign-on and type in UNCW. But what you don't want to do is type in your credentials. Make sure you use the single sign-on. And it should look something like this. The first thing I want to do is show you how to adjust your settings. This is really important when you have to go and share your volunteer experience with your instructor. So to do that, you're going to go to this drop-down menu. There's a little caret here and click on Account. And you can adjust all of these settings. There's two things that I want to highlight. One is you can add a preferred name. So if the first name here isn't what your instructor knows you by, you can add your first name here or your preferred first name here and click on this box. Just make sure you click Save Changes. But what's most important for the purposes of later sharing your experience with your instructor is on this Settings menu item. If your settings are set to private, you have to make sure you uncheck that and then click Save Changes. And this is because when you share your experience with your instructor, if it's marked as private, if your profile is marked as private, they won't be able to see what you share. So make sure that's unchecked and click Save Changes. Okay, with that out of the way, let's turn our attention to how to look up opportunities. There are a variety of ways to do this, but I'm going to suggest that you use this Explore tab, which you can find at the top of the page. And what this should pull up is a feed of opportunities in your area. These are posted by our office, folks in our office, student community engagement, by other campus groups, and by local organizations with whom we partner in the community. I want to point out several important things here. First and foremost, make sure it says Wilmington up here. I've been told by some students that it will default to their home area. I'm not exactly sure why that happens, but make sure it's set to Wilmington, and then it'll pull a list of opportunities in this area. Along with the date of the event or time, you'll see a bunch of information here. And so it's going to be important to pay careful attention to the information that's provided and to do a little vetting to make sure that the volunteer service opportunity lines up with your requirement or what you're looking for. So we'll talk a little bit more about that now. Um, One thing to pay attention to is kind of how the event is tagged. So you'll see it will say something like volunteer service opportunity. A lot of these will say volunteer service opportunity, but some of them might say event. Okay. Most of the time, you're going to be looking for a volunteer service opportunity. Sometimes these events are not tagged correctly. So again, this is where it's important to be discerning and to vet a little bit what you see. So for example, this event that was posted by Young Scientists Academy, this is a partner in the community. It says event. It doesn't say volunteer service opportunity. But if I click on it and read the description, it's clearly a volunteer service opportunity. Okay, so I should feel comfortable registering for this. If it meets the criteria for that my instructor has given me for this assignment. Okay, so pay attention to how the event is tagged, either volunteer service opportunity or event, but don't take everything at face value. Do a little reading to make sure that um, what you're seeing, what how it's labeled kind of lines up with reality. This is another example, free tax assistance. It's labeled volunteer service opportunity, but if I click on it, it's pretty clear this is free tax advice. Like this is not a volunteer opportunity. It's a free opportunity to get tax advice. Okay. So pay attention to how events are categorized or tagged. Pay attention to who's listing them. Um, this is listed by a community partner. This is listed by our unit on campus, student community engagement. Um, Another community partner. This is listed by a student org. So um, this will just be helpful information for you, right? If you know it's posted by our office, for example, you can rest assured that you're going to have support. There's someone on campus you can email or call if you have questions or you need additional information. Whereas if it's a community partner, it'll be maybe a little unclear about how to go about connecting. You can always click on this message button to communicate with folks, but I can't vouch for every community partner and how often they're checking these messages and so forth. So a lot of partners use this platform really well, um, but we can't really control how each partner uses it. And certainly they use it with varying degrees of proficiency, I would say. What else can I show you here before we move on? Um, I think the bottom line here is if you're looking for something that is very likely to meet the requirements for your course and where you'll find a lot of support, um, looking for an opportunity through student community engagement is a pretty safe bet. As a bonus, we also help manage transportation. So in the example of this event, we actually are running a van to this project, transportation provided. Um, but that's not always the case. But even if we're not running a van to the event, we will help coordinate transportation. So if you don't have a car, but you want to participate, someone on our team will reach out and connect you to someone who is driving that you can carpool, that kind of thing. Okay. So when you find an event you want to participate in, you're going to click on this register button if it's an option. Pay attention because some events will prompt you to register in another way. Again, this goes back to some partners just use this platform a little bit differently, or even some campus groups use it a little bit differently. So this cleanup, for example, I think this is just encouraging you to show up, right? So there's no formal registration. Um, was another cleanup I wanted to, right? This beach cleanup with Encino. They're actually prompting you to use this Sign Up Genius link to register. So pay careful attention when you're using this platform. Click on the event, read the description, and follow the instructions, right? It might prompt you to click on this register button. It might prompt you to sign up in a different way. So again, the important thing is just read the description and follow the instructions. When in doubt, you can always message the administrator. So once you're registered, and I'll go ahead and show you what this looks like. So I'm going to register for this event. You may be prompted to, you know, acknowledge a release or sign a waiver, that kind of thing. There might be other steps to the registration process. But if it's through the platform, you'll get this kind of green check mark indicating that you're all set. It will prompt a email to your inbox um, that will confirm that you're registered and provide information about the event. Once registered, there's some things you'll definitely want to be thinking about. Make sure you have all the information you need regarding where to go, what to wear, what to bring. When in doubt, you can message the administrator. If your plans change, be sure to update your registration. This allows someone else to take your spot if you can't make it. As you can imagine, our partners rely on us. So when we say we're going to take a group of 10 students to volunteer, it can be a problem if 10 people sign up, but only 3 people show up, right? So um, I get it, like plans change and that's fine, but just make sure you update your registration, which you can do by clicking on this, but you can also you'll see you get in a email confirmation in your inbox. You can click on, and this email confirmation will often have a lot of details, where to go, when to meet, all those kinds of things. But you see there's a link here. If you must cancel, go here. Click on that. Oops. And got a little error there. We'll try it again. This is not a perfect platform. It's a great platform, but sometimes there are little glitches. So yes, I want to cancel my registration, and it's been canceled. Okay, so to recap here, make sure you're logged in when using Engage UNCW or GivePulse. Use the Explore tab, but be discerning when choosing an event, along with making sure it meets the criteria for your course. Pay attention to how events are labeled. Read the description thoroughly to make sure you are registering correctly and that you know where to go and what to bring, all those kinds of things. Follow through on your commitments and cancel registration if your plans change. And lastly, remember you'll have to verify your participation and share evidence that you participated with your instructor. So I'm going to encourage you to check out another video tutorial on our YouTube channel that goes through that whole process. So if you have any questions about after you've carried out your service work, how do you relay that to your instructor? Check out that other video, which you can find on our YouTube channel. And remember, you can always send questions to serve@uncw.edu. I'm going to just type this out for you. Um, serve@uncw.edu. Can send an email here, and we will help you troubleshoot the platform if you're running into difficulty. We can definitely help you find a volunteer opportunity if you're having trouble finding something. If you have questions about whether or not a opportunity lines up with the criteria that your instructor has provided, that's probably a better question for your instructor. But if it has anything to do with the platform or just getting help finding an opportunity, by all means, reach out to us. One little caveat there, um, it might take us a day or two to get back to you. So if your deadline is 5 o'clock today, and you're emailing us at 3 o'clock, you might have to just be patient with us. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks so much for your attention. Again, send questions to serve@uncw.edu. Otherwise, best of luck in your service outing, and we hope you have a really awesome experience.